Hi everyone, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is a broad spectrum reading, so I do speak in broad terms. Basically, take what you need and leave the rest kind of thing. So if this reading makes sense or fits with something that you're dealing with, by all means use it. It was originally created for Saturday the 24th of December, but it is not solely set for that date. I believe the readings are timeless, so when you find them, if they make sense to you, by all means utilize them. For those of you that the reading doesn't fit, it's okay. It doesn't mean the reading, that you're doing anything wrong or that things, or you're off your path or anything like that. It just might mean that the reading, you might be working on something different and it just may not be your reading at this time. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath the reading. In there, you can find things I want you to think about when utilizing the channel, general housekeeping rules, what decks I'm using currently, how to get in contact with me via social media for a private reading, and also easy ways to support the channel. You can do that by hitting the thumbs up button, by hitting subscribe, by sharing the video out, or leaving a question or comment on the video. All of those actions I greatly appreciate. So let's get into these cards and see what's going on. What do the cards or spirit want us to know for today? I will be referring back to the Sunday underpinning energy. If you hear me talking about cards that you don't see here, I'm referencing those cards, and they populate in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this reading. So our card for the day, it's our girlfriend, the Six of Swords. She's back. She's back! She was with us 3 times in the early part of last week, and she's back. Are we clearing our minds, guys? Emotionally, yesterday we saw the Queen of Cups, so emotionally we should be a lot clearer on how we feel. Now, mentally, because we've got our emotions in check, or we've got some ownership around our emotions, I feel like, maybe we're ready to move forward with a clearer mind, to calmer waters. Again, this card has a tentativeness to it, a careful step-by-step nature, a clarity and a balance to it that we want to maintain today. Remember, the grounding stone for this week is that peace. So I feel like we're moving towards that peace. There's definitely a forward movement with this card. Remember, too, in the Sunday reading, I was thinking about it, we have that 10 of Pentacles underneath all of this, right? Which is that, sort of like material 3D well-being for us and everyone that we love coming out of all of this and the end of all of this. Like we're maybe shifting into a different perspective, a different way of seeing things or expecting things in our lives. And underpinning that even was the clarifier of the world, which is like a graduation and understanding, a victory of some sort, of chapter ending and a new chapter beginning. And I feel like this might be some of the energy of that new chapter beginning. We're moving forward in our minds, in our thoughts, in how we communicate in a much more clearer, balanced, and again, I'm going to say this because the word's coming up again, meticulous way. We're thinking about the thoughts that we say, We're thinking about the power of our thoughts. We're thinking about the power of the words that we communicate, What is the sort of the tape that plays in our head? And really, I feel like changing that tape or that understanding of who we are or what we deserve or how worthy we may be in a certain situation or in life in general. And I feel like we're shifting that and we're moving that forward differently. We're handling it differently or caring for it differently. And in doing so, I think we're transitioning because of that world's presence there, because of that 10 of Pentacles presence underneath this energy. I think we're transitioning to something better. I think right now, with this Six of Swords, it feels a bit stark or a bit maybe scary, a bit unknown, because we don't necessarily know. This might be a new way of thinking or communicating for us that doesn't feel quite so comfortable, or it might even be challenging a little bit. But I think that my feeling is with the 10 of Pentacles and the world underneath it, yesterday we also saw the Wheel of Fortune, there's a bigger payoff, and it's not all about the payoff, but there's a bigger reward than we realize, is my feeling, if we do this work, or if we, actively pay attention to the thoughts that we think and the words that we communicate and start to, I don't know if take responsibility for them is the correct word, but I feel like that's what she's doing. She's looking at what she's been doing and what she needs to do to move forward, and then she's doing so kind of carefully. Again, it's not necessarily a card of self-care, but I get this feeling, even with the Five of Cups that we saw 2 days ago, I get these feelings from these cards that these people on the cards, the images, they're being very careful and almost nurturing with themselves, even through the hard times or the transitions. And so allowing yourself that care and allowing yourself, honoring yourself in that way, allows you to move forward in, it might be small steps or small changes, but those changes have, I think, bigger effects than we realize with the world, which is the end of a journey, and the Wheel of Fortune yesterday, justice, strength, the powerful clarifiers we saw yesterday. There's something at play here behind the scenes or underpinning this that we don't realize, is my feeling. There's a shift taking place. Maybe it's just the simple shift of going into 2023 and things hopefully returning to normal. Not even normal. I don't think it's a return to normal. It's more of a getting better. Better than we even expect with that Ten of Pentacles under there. I don't know why, but that one clarifier, or that one card from the Sunday, feels like it's actually more, it's further out than the end of this week, is my feeling. It's more of a long-term manifestation that we have going for ourselves, and we have to start at the foundation, and this is us starting at the foundation. Yesterday and the day before was us starting at the emotional foundation and getting some ownership and clarity around that. And now we're ready to move forward again and clear our thoughts again, get clearer communication going again, and moving forward step by step, and transforming it, being patient with ourselves, being, aware of the communication we keep or the thoughts that we keep, and what we're utilizing ourselves, what we're telling ourselves as we're moving through our life, right? Those roses on the little island there say to me there are gifts to be had as we make these transitions. They're not going to be as big as the Ten of Pentacles just yet, but as we accumulate those gifts or that growth or that beauty, and we find that from doing this process, those will also kind of not instigate, but inspire us to continue to move on in this process of transforming how we think or what we communicate. And I feel like this could pick up in speed at some point, where it becomes easier, or we become more adept at it and we become more conscious of it, and it becomes easier to not feel like we're like this lady's sort of doing a balancing act to make it work, but she's still making it work, right? Let's go to the Divine Abundance deck. Oh my gosh, okay. Right action. Agripaha literally means let everything that wants to go, go, and everything that wants to come, come. We've seen this card like 4 times this month. I really think that this is a big transition, and it's about letting go of whatever it is that has caused us grief, sadness, misaligned thoughts, frustration, even anger for some of us. Whatever it is that we can no longer sort of fight against, it's almost as if we're turning our back to it and moving towards something new, even though we don't necessarily know what that new thing is. We're giving ourselves that opportunity to have that freedom to do that. The interesting thing about both of these cards is both of these women's arms are open, where one is balancing on the swords, the other one is sort of freeing herself to a degree. Sorry that it's blurry, I just noticed on the camera that it's blurry. She's throwing her, we can look at it, it's almost like we can look at it in one of 2 different ways. Are we opening our arms in a sense of fear and kind of balance? Or are we just throwing our arms back and going universe, take me, show me a different way? And understanding that we can trust ourselves. We saw that Queen of Cups yesterday, so we can trust ourselves emotionally, we can trust ourselves intuitionally. And then we have to kind of meld our thoughts into that trust and allow the two to blend together to slowly begin to move forward in clarifying what it is we need, in transforming what it is we think, and then allowing whatever it is that's no longer working for us or with us or understands us to just separate and let it go. If it's meant for you, it will come back round, and if it's not, then it's gone, and it wasn't yours to begin with, right? Let's go to, excuse me, the clarifiers. We have the Seven of Cups. So this is a bit of emotional confusion, and we might be feeling this. This might be with the tentativeness with the Six of Swords. Seven of Cups oftentimes indicates, there's good decisions to be made here, but there might be too many decisions, and we're not sure. We could be emotionally confusing ourselves by mulling over the options too much. We may need to just bite the bullet and take a step forward with what is the most, balanced, nurturing thing we can do for ourselves with that Six of Swords there. So if some of you find yourselves going back and forth, unsure of what the next right action is or the next right step is, understand that that's okay. You're going to find the answer. There are things here that are plausible, real, and valid, but some of these things maybe aren't. They're not necessarily the outcomes that we want. So we don't want to get caught in that confusion, especially emotionally. We want to stay clear in our mind and be brave to a degree to take the next steps. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Oh wow, are we going to have triple sevens? Do we need to be in Vegas, people? Seven of Pentacles is about patience with ourselves, patience with the situation, understanding that hard work and perseverance pays off, paying attention to our present moment with whatever we're dealing with or whatever we might even be feeling confusion around or trying to get clarity around. We will maintain that clarity. We will get there, but it's about maybe stopping, taking a breath, stepping back, looking at the bigger picture, and then maybe continuing to work on whatever it is that we want to grow in our life, whatever it is that we want to have. This to me speaks also to that Ten of Pentacles that underpins this. Like right now, I feel like this card is telling us we are doing the work, even though if it feels confusing or a little bit challenging, we are doing the work towards building towards that Ten of Pentacles. We're growing that, maybe that manifestation of belief within ourselves that we can have the things that we want. But we have to tend to those thoughts. We have to nurture them, grow them, mother them into our reality, into our day-to-day thinking, make them easeful, right? And in doing that, we are able to sort of reap the harvest. But again, this may not be a day where we make big decisions. We may just reflect a bit and kind of look at what's practical, what's logical, what's our best option, and try not to get confused about what other people's needs are or their requirements of us or expectations of us. That could be some of the Seven of Cups energy going on too. The last card, I'm not mad at her being here because she says she's going to move forward with clarity and logic, is the Queen of Cups. She is a queen, so she is related to the Cups suit. All queens are, but she's the Queen of Swords. She's going to value logic and clarity, clear thinking, and reality over, anything else. But she will have some sort of emotional input going on, but she's not going to let that Seven of Cups confusion stop her from taking the next step. The other reason why I really like her is because the clouds that we see in the Seven of Cups are dissipating or falling away, and she's using her sword to cut through whatever is unclear for her and move forward. She's definitely looking to the future, guys. So although she's seated, to me, the seated aspect of her in this reading reminds us to stay grounded in the clarity of our mind and our thoughts, even if sometimes it's challenging. We can move into, say, next year or our next project or next relationship or next whatever, smarter, wiser, and more aware, and less sort of, I'll say this, the Queen of Wands is like a bullshit meter to me. She can see through sort of lies or stuff that's just not coming correct. And so, and she also falls here, I'll say this too, yesterday's card in this position was Justice, which is also air energy, Libra, and I kind of associate Queen of Swords sort of closely with Justice. They sort of remind me of one another a little bit. She values the truth over anything else. And I think that what truth that is our truth, what we're working on, and we're finding that truth today. And then we're taking action or moving forward within that truth. And if that truth means that we have to let some things go or fall to the wayside, so be it. This is about focusing on ourselves and our thoughts rather than anyone else or any other situation. Let's go to the grounding stone. Oh wow. I said this about this woman. I had a feeling this stone was going to come out. It's so funny. It's freedom. I said that she's throwing her arms back in freedom, and this one's using her arms a little bit like in fear, right? To me, I feel like there's something that we're looking at with that queen there. We're looking at something on the horizon that we want or we desire. We understand that we need it within ourselves, and it may supply us or give us the opportunity for freedom. Whatever that freedom is, whether it's emotional freedom, mental freedom, physical freedom from a situation, whatever it is that we're seeking to be lighter and have more peace around. Remember, peace underpins this freedom. We need to take action or steps towards that today. We need to reflect and consciously cultivate that. That's the Seven of Pentacles. Yes, we might get confused. Yes, we might get a little bit worried. Is this the right way to go? Is this the right decision? But ultimately, in the end, with the Queen of Swords there, we are going to connect with the right answer for ourselves, grounding in this idea of peace and freedom for ourselves. What frees us? What thoughts free us? What thoughts feel better than what we maybe have been previously thinking? What thoughts help us to feel like we can grow and expand rather than, shrink and hide? Does that make sense? I really believe that does make sense. I hope that makes sense for you guys. So ground in this idea and this concept of freedom and feel that energy of you can do whatever, you can change whatever you need to change. Yes, it may take some work and some focus and some deliberation, but it will change and it will empower you. That is your reading for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please hit that thumbs up button if you did. Subscribe to the channel, share the video out, and let me know if you're liking this content. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.